Good morning. Welcome to the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living. For those of you that might not know me, my name is Dusty Ripplemeyer, and I happen to be the senior minister of this amazing community. And we're very, very grateful that you have included us in your morning today. Today is a day of many celebrations. First, Happy Valentine's Day to all of you from the Queen of Hearts. While it's typically a day to celebrate romantic love, I am choosing to honor that which is back of all of it, and that is love itself. So please watch this video and watch it and know you're receiving it with my love.
In a fake fur hat. A couple of weeks ago, I asked people to point their cameras into the direction of love. And if you want to know what love is, well, check this out. The question is why? Why are we here? To say our hellos and goodbyes and disappear. This beautiful life, what is it for? To learn how to master peace or master war. There's only one answer that matters, even if your heart has been shattered. Whatever you want, whatever you are after, love is still the answer. The answer. Love, 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 We all make mistakes. No, we're not perfect yet. Maybe God made us all from an accident. And the question that sits on everyone's lips is why should we pick ourselves up and start over again? There's only one answer that matters, even if your heart has been shattered. Whatever you want, whatever you are after, love is still the answer. Love is still the answer. Love, 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 The question I'll ask at the end of my days is what did I give, and what will I take? There's only one answer that matters, even if your heart and your dreams have been shattered. Whatever you want, whatever you are after, love is still the answer. Love is still the answer. Love, 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 love is still the answer.
Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Love is still and will always be the answer. We're also celebrating Black History Month. As I said last week, our country celebrates Black History Month during the month of February. It is an annual celebration of the countless achievements of African Americans and a time for recognizing their central role in the history of the United States. Here at the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living, we celebrate the diversity and unity of the One, recognize and honor everyone's uniqueness and contribution to the whole, and celebrate each individualized expression. Over the course of this month, we are celebrating Black History Month and all of our Black brothers and sisters. We honor who they are and all of their contributions in our lives. Each Sunday, we will be showing a video. So take a look at this week's video.
I'm telling y'all already.
But just like life. All right.
Air Jordan ready to take off.
Can I get an amen? And welcome to the very first National Oprah Winfrey Show!
Thank you for all of your contributions. It is now my pleasure to welcome up to the podium licensed spiritual practitioner, our platform host, Marianne Hardy.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Our theme for 2021 is Timeless Wisdom, Evolutionary Vision. Our February theme is One Journey, Many Paths. Rev Dusty's talk title is The Infinite Invisible. So now I'm going to read our community purpose statement. And if you'll just sit and listen to the words, or if you know them by heart, follow along. Our purpose is to inspire, educate, and empower individuals to express themselves in a unique and individualized expression of God, the love intelligence that governs the universe. We are committed to not merely a theoretical understanding of our oneness and unity with God, but to consciously practice this truth in our everyday lives. Through celebration, service, study, and fellowship, we are committed to the transformation of our personal lives and to being a powerful and beneficial presence on the planet. With the energy of unconditional love, simply, we are here for God. And now, if you'll just turn within, if you want to close your outer eyes, just get quiet, tune into your breath, and just let the sounds of these healing bowls wash over you.
So I invite you to stay turned within as I say an invocation on today's service. And with my eyes closed, I see within the divine spark of love, unconditional, never-ending, immeasurable, divine love. And I know that is the truth. That is who and what I am and will always be. And that love manifests in so many beautiful ways, in joy and power and wisdom, in peace and serenity, in abundance. It is so abundant that I know it not only fills my physical container, but flows out, connecting me with everything on this planet. Each person, each animal, each blade of grass, all of us are that divine spark of love and light. And so, from that place, I say a word of blessing for all of the people who are making today happen. I say a word of blessing to the volunteers who came early, who prepared the space, to Mary Ann for filling this container with meditations of love, to all the people who are participating in this service, who bring their love for our community and their depth of consciousness to this experience. I say a word of blessing to Mark Daly and Heather Abbott as they make it possible by doing our AV work to connect with all of you all. I say a word of blessing to all of those of you who are on the other side of this
technology, who are integral parts of making this service the wonderful service that it is. And that includes those who may watch it later. And most of all, I say a word of blessing on our Queen of Hearts, Reverend Dusty, who will just flow with wisdom and joy and deep, deep love. I also say a word of blessing on Cindy Johnson, who will set forth the melodic vibrations that will bring us even higher. And so knowing that we are all coming to this grounded in the divine truth of our divine love, I know that it all unfolds perfectly. It is already a miracle in the eyes of God. And so I turn it over to God, letting God work its magic through us and for us. I invite everyone to anchor this affirmation for us all with our words, and so it is. All right, and we are now going to do our blessings of all faiths. And I have two very special volunteers I'm so excited to invite to come up and assist me with this. The Triangle Center for Spiritual Living honors the diversity and threads of truth that run through all spiritual paths, as represented by this ceremony. Christianity is the path of Christ consciousness, love, and forgiveness. Buddhism is the path of compassion and understanding. Judaism is the ethical path of living by sacred law. Baha'i is the path of unity and peace. Islam is the path of submission to the will of God, the highest calling. Confucianism is the path of deliberate tradition. Taoism is the natural way, the path of ultimate reality. Native American practice and shamanic traditions are the paths of primal spirituality. Shintoism is the path of tribal ancestry. Hinduism is the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. Science of mind and spirit is the path of the divine principles of love and law. And the heart represents the one heart, the one love that resides at the center of all people and all beings everywhere with no exceptions. May peace prevail on earth through the followers of all paths. And so it is. Thank you, Joe and Michelle. Our reading for today is from Joel Goldsmith. He says, God is, of that you may be sure. This is only true in your experience, however, in the degree to which you contemplate, meditate, and keep your mind stayed on God, living, moving, and having your being in the conscious realization that God will never leave you nor forsake you. God's grace is your sufficiency, and this is only made practical in your life by your contemplation of that grace. Only in the degree that you live consciously in the realization of God and let this realization of God dwell in you does it become true that you do not live alone. The place whereon you stand is holy ground, for God is with you. And so it is. All right, and now another total treat is to hear the beautiful words and music of Cindy Johnson. Thank you.
can feel you in the morning sun. I can see you in the sky above. I can hear you in the gentle breeze. You are always in always with me. I can feel you in the morning sun. I can see you in the sky above. I can hear you in the gentle breeze. You are always in always with me. Never a moment that you are far from my heart. You're always with me. I can feel you in the morning sun. I can see you in the sky above. I can hear you in the gentle breeze. You are always in always with me. Oh, God is so amazing, shining through me. God is so amazing, shining through me. One look in my eyes and you can see. Oh God, you're so amazing, shining through me. Never a moment that you are far from my heart. You're always in always with me. I can feel you in the morning sun. I can see you in the sky above. I can hear you in the gentle breeze. You are always in always with me. Always with me. Oh God, you are so amazing, shining through me.
That was absolutely beautiful, Cindy. I don't think I've ever heard you sing that song before, and it couldn't have been a better song choice. Absolutely perfect. Spirit has a way of downloading that to her, and we're the recipients of it, and for that I'm very grateful. Thank you. So this month's theme is One Journey, Many Paths. One such path is the journey from the head to the heart. This is the journey of transferring the knowledge about God that is in our heads and being able to experience the excitement of loving God that is in our heart. This is not to say that there is no importance in knowledge or understanding the principles of spiritual living, for that is not the truth. This knowledge, this understanding is the foundation upon which we build, so that we understand where we are going and why. This knowledge, this understanding is how we know what our relationship to God and to everything and everyone else on the planet is. It's necessary, absolutely necessary, that we know these things. A spiritual life cannot be built without an understanding of God, the nature and character of God, and the nature of spiritual laws. As we study, we are developing a consciousness which recognizes the divinity within as the only actor and the only activity, thereby paving the way for an actual experience of God. There is a Sioux Indian saying that says that the longest journey you will ever take on your life is the journey from your head to your heart. And in order to make that journey, we are encouraged to move from thinking about God to feeling it and truly experiencing it. This is more about devotion than intellect. It's more about being heart-centered than head-centered. It's the way of the mystic. Living the mystical life today is a call to people who yearn to live consciously, to live ordinary lives made extraordinary because they are aware of the presence of God in which they live and move and have their being. Joel Goldsmith says, "There is a spirit in man. This spirit ordains, heals, resurrects, lifts up, illumines, but it must be experienced. The way is through practicing the presence of God and through meditation. The more we live in the awareness of spirit and its function, the nearer we bring ourselves to the experience." He then goes on to suggest that we put into practice what we already know. The painter paints, the dancer dances, the chef cooks. Mystical living is not intellectually achieved. The mystic lives the mystical experience by letting God be God as them. To the degree that we are willing, open, and receptive participants and partners with God, our lives can and will respond to and demonstrate the depth of that divine relationship. When we allow the infinite invisible that resides in, as, and through us to celebrate by means of us, then we truly are enlightened beings. God as source is everywhere, equally present, and always fully active. God as presence is an innate connection. It's a wondrous creativity, a limitless possibilities, radiant inspiration, and divine right order. Now, we are all of that. We're created in the image and likeness of God, so we are all of that, but we must do our part. The bottom line is that we came into the world lovingly connected to our hearts. It is where we naturally lived when we were small children. However, that is not where we always stay. Often, through conditioning, as we are growing up, we are programmed to live in our heads, to figure and work everything out intellectually. The problem with that is that not everything can be worked out at the level of the problem. Not everything can be worked out we have to lean into something grander. When we're living from our hearts, we're connected to the infinite invisible that is greater than we are. And we feel like anything is possible and that we cannot fail. Often, through conditioning as we were growing up, we're programmed to live out of fear. Often, well-meaning adults model fearful thoughts to us. Fearful thoughts about the world that we were growing up in. And those energetic patterns will be passed on from generation to generation until someone consciously chooses a better way. Fearful thoughts carry a very powerful energy that can sometimes override our heart's energy. Repeated, the fearful thoughts often manifest as defense mechanisms or behaviors or unconscious actions. Our fear can result in stress and overwhelm that can form a block, an actual block between our heads and our hearts, so that we are no longer able to hear what our hearts are trying to tell us, which can leave us feeling disconnected from ourselves, from each other, from our lives, and from God itself. Some of us believe that we live in a confusing and frightening world. So we slowly shift our focus from our hearts to our heads because we ourselves are confused and frightened. Frightened by what others are telling us, or frightened by what we're seeing on the news. So in those moments, we came up with this idea that it would be better for us to live in our heads, apart from this dangerous and unkind world that we're living in. That when we would do that, that we would be safe. That we'd be safe from that unkind world, that we would be safer to live in our heads than to live in our hearts, because that might be too vulnerable. The problem in doing so is that might make us suffer all the more. The mind, as we all well know, can be a really tricky place to live. It creates stories. It sends us into spins of anxiety, and it sweeps us up into whirlwinds of fear and panic. The first step in taking the journey from the head to the heart is to recognize that we are all of us, are comprised of conditioned thoughts and beliefs that are not really our own. We hold on to constructed, manufactured ideas that we believe are true, but are not actually a part of who we are. In order to grow and evolve, we need to do the inner work to assist us to uncover those ideas and beliefs and to release those that are no longer serving us. In order to grow and evolve, we need to make that journey from our heads to our hearts. Fortunately, it is possible to reconnect with our heart energy, our awakened state, and to feel whole again. Now, the journey might be a little long and it might be a little tenuous, but that's only because we've accumulated so many habits during the course of our lives. We can release those. It is possible to reconnect with our heart energy. Bruce Lipton says that 95% of our life is unconscious. Can you imagine that? 95% of our life is unconscious, which means that most, right? 95%, that most of our thoughts, feelings, emotions, and behaviors are running on autopilot. They're running without our awareness. The descent into our heart is a descent into the conscious. It's a descent into the now moment. It's a descent into the authenticity of our being. Our heart is where our treasure lies. It's the home of contentment and peace and love and joy and bliss. Our heart brings us back into balance, creating congruency in our lives so that we can feel whole. In an article called The Journey from the Head to the Heart, the author Bliss Spot Wellbeing, really that was what it was, Bliss Spot Wellbeing, shares 3 ways to connect with our heart energy. Number 1, stop trying and start flowing. Stop trying and start flowing. Our heart doesn't have to try hard at all. It just knows things instinctually, intuitively. The more we try to work things out in our head, the more elusive the answers can become. Trying energy can be a very hard energy, leaving us feeling stressed and tense. It can take us right out of the flow of life. For example, I think about the many times, and Heather will probably attest to this, the many times that I've sat down at a computer, my computer or the computer here, to solve a technical problem, only to feel more and more and probably and more frustrated. But when I step away from the computer and take a break, the solution often comes effortlessly. Often the best ideas come when we're not trying at all, but rather aligning ourselves in a moment of stillness with the wisdom of the infinite invisible. That wisdom that is always available for us, that is always present, that we are never separate from. A moment of stillness, an opportunity to listen to our heart. Now, we can't force these moments, they just happen. They happen without grasping, without wanting or thinking or trying. They are a product of being in the flow, of living from our heart, and they leave us with a feeling of completion. When we live our lives from that place, then everything just works. Number 2, consciously develop presence. In a state of presence, we radiate energy, and we're fully present in the here and now. It's the mind, that lovely, wonderful mind, that causes those scattered feelings, and that stresses us out by taking us all over the place with worries about the past or the future. The energy of presence, of just being still, of being present to the presence, is strong, and it's stable, and it empowers us to consciously live our lives in the way that we would like to live them, not from that 95% unconscious place. Calming and developing a calm and quiet mind cultivates presence. It invites it in, invites our awareness of it to expand. Walk in nature and meditation are examples of things that can assist us in this process. Nothing new, you've heard it before. From a calm, still place, we can connect to the wisdom of our hearts. As our hearts are quieted, as our thoughts are quieted, then we're able to hear what our hearts are trying to tell us. Joel Goldsmith says, this practice deepens spiritual consciousness. Brother Lawrence calls it practicing the presence of God. The Hebrews call it keeping the mind stayed on God and acknowledging God in all ways. Jesus called it abiding in the Word. It is a practice that ultimately leads us to a complete reliance on the infinite invisible, which in turn brings the visible into our awareness as we have the need of it. Spiritual living makes use of that which is in the world It enjoys the form, but its reliance is on that which is the substance of the form, on that which has created the form, the infinite, invisible. The bottom line is that the whole secret lies in that word consciousness. An intellectual knowledge of the fact that God is of no value in the end. The only real value that any truth has is in the degree of its realization, to the degree that we experience and practice its presence in our lives. We can rise no higher in consciousness than the place where the infinite invisible enters the heart, and we realized that it happened. That is the highest place in consciousness that we can reach. Number 3, accept our emotions. Our heart space creates a sense of oneness. The heart doesn't see emotions as good or bad. It's not judgmental at all. But when we numb ourselves from the emotions that we find difficult by shopping or drinking or taking drugs or blaming other people, for example, we also numb ourselves to the great joy that we find in an open heart. The good news is that by learning to observe and accept all of our emotions with love and compassion, it's possible to reconnect to our heart energy. It takes courage to look at the emotions that we find uncomfortable, but I promise you it will be well worth it. One of CSL's What We Believe statements says, "We believe in the direct revelation of truth through our intuitive and spiritual nature, and that anyone may become a revealer of truth that lives in close contact with the indwelling God." Now, for this to happen, the invitation is to know beyond a shadow of a doubt that we are divine now, right now. Our uniqueness, our gifts, and our dreams are all waiting for us to wake up and accept our divinity. We are worthy now. The mystical journey is calling for our agreement in this. Yes, there will be work. Yes, there will be growth and unfolding. But when we let God be God in us, then we shine. We shine as the magnificent emanations of God that we were created to be. For this to happen, we have to know that there is a divine yes that will not be denied. It is a yes that leads to love, joy, and yes, challenge, but growth, and the ongoing evolution of our highest yet to be. The ongoing evolution. The invisible infinite's yes may announce itself through joy and peace, or it may announce itself through pain or loss. But behind every experience in life, there is a greater yes that awaits our acknowledgement and our response. For this to happen, we have to participate. We have to make a choice each and every single day. Will we release the clutter of old ideas so as to create some spaciousness within us for invention and reinvention and innovation, for something new to show up? Will we engage our talents and our open hearts to expand and grow? Will we allow ourselves to become the magnificent being that we already are, right here and now? Will we choose to dance with the divine? The journey from the head to the heart can be challenging at times. However, I guarantee that it will be the most rewarding journey that we will ever experience. Joel Goldsmith says, once we have reached or touched the inner kingdom, we are no longer living unto ourselves, not even living unto our families exclusively, but we are participating more actively in the affairs of the world and in those things that make for a happier, more successful, and more peaceful way of life. When we are deeply aware of the presence of the divine, the infinite invisible within us, anything is possible. We will do whatever it takes, and the journey from our head to our heart will no longer be the longest journey that we will ever take. Please repeat after me. With trust, joy, and delight, I let God be God in me. Altogether, with trust, joy, and delight, I let God be God in me. With trust, joy, and delight, I let God be God in me. And so it is. And so it is. Please close your outer eyes and turn within. With my eyes closed, I am acutely aware of the power and presence of the divine, the infinite invisible within me. I know that it is the very essence of peace, of joy, of creativity, of abundance, of love, and of grace. I know that it is who and what I am at my very core. And just as I know that this is my truth, I know that it is absolutely the truth of each and every person in the sanctuary, watching on Facebook or Zoom, every sentient being on the planet. And it is from this place of unity that I speak these words about and for each of us today. Truly knowing that there is a way that we can live our lives from our heart rather than from our head. That we are spiritual beings having a human incarnation, and that divinity resides within us right now. We don't have to wait for this to happen or that to happen. It is already who we are, connected in ways that can never be broken to that presence within us. We are its ambassadors on the planet. And so I claim ease and grace for us as we begin or continue to take this journey from our head to our heart, opening us up to the wisdom that our heart innately knows, intuitively knows, and wishes to share with us. I claim ease and grace around being and experiencing a mystical life, a life where we recognize and lean into our divinity and allow our higher selves to shine through as we allow God to be God in us. I'm so grateful to speak these words, so grateful for the power of prayer, knowing that these words are loosed into a law that only ever says yes. And so I speak them and I release them and allow God to be God. And I invite everyone to anchor this prayer for themselves, for each other, for our community, for the planet, simply by saying, and so it is. Amen. Amen. It is now time for our conscious giving. The Triangle Center for Spiritual Living is sustained by the giving of our time, talent, and treasure. This is the time every week when we offer financial support to assist this community to be a beacon of light and love for ourselves and others. Together, we affirm the truth that today's offering lifts this spiritual community, prospers the one giving, and contributes to the experience of sufficiency on the planet. There are several ways that you can give. They're on the screen there. Visit our website at www.trianglecsl.org. You can text the word GIVE using the following number, 970-230-8445, or you can mail your gift to our office, noticing our new address is P.O. Box 4062, Cary, North Carolina, 27519. Please place your hand on your heart with your gift or with an intention in mind, and let's say our affirmation together. I live in an abundant universe that blesses and prospers my life. I give with gratitude, knowing that God is my source. And so it is. And so it is. Please welcome back to her piano the lovely, the awesome Cindy Johnson.
When I walk through the door, I felt God's presence, and I knew this was a place where love abounds. For this is a temple, the God we love abides here. Oh, we are standing in God's presence on holy ground. We are standing on holy ground, and I know there are angels all around. Let us praise God now, praise God anyhow, for we are standing in God's sweet presence on holy ground. In God's presence, I know there is joy beyond all measure, and at God's feet, sweet peace of mind can still be found. Ooh, for when we have a need, God is still the answer. Oh, reach out and claim it, for we are standing on holy ground. Let us praise God now, helpful presence. She loves us in our hour of darkness. She's our hope for tomorrow. We are standing in God's presence on holy ground. On holy ground.
Thank you, Cindy, very much. It was beautiful. Today, as many of you probably already know, is the last service that we will be streaming live from this sanctuary. So I wanted to take a moment to really acknowledge the space and all that it has meant to us through a short ritual. I light this candle for our classroom, knowing that it has been the right and perfect container for all of the wisdom, the clarity, the insight, the sharing, the laughter, and the love that we all experienced in it. I bless all of the students that crossed the threshold into the room and supported each other on our spiritual path. I know that the knowledge we received while in it gave us a deeper understanding of the nature and character of God and our relationship to it, and of the nature of the spiritual laws that govern the universe. With this candle, I bless our classroom.
With this candle, I bless that I'm so grateful for having this space to receive the physical connection with my spiritual family. Hence, just being able to feel the love and all the hugs that I received. I'm grateful.
With this candle, I speak a word of blessing on our fellowship hall, our place to gather, break bread, and express our love for one another. I will always fondly remember all the laughter and fun that we experienced in that room, all the meals that we shared, and all the times that we had to have fun and play games. It's been a source of food in so many ways, a place to serve the community, a place to build friendships, and a place that will keep me to my last days with loving memories. This candle is for our fellowship hall.
I light this candle for this wonderful space that allowed me to see your faces as I sang and to feel your love. And I am grateful. I light this candle to honor our youth space, the space that we had the privilege to be with our youngest spiritual seekers from infants on through teens. I honor those beautiful souls who came in and gave us the opportunity to support them in growing up, not forgetting who they are, and who supported us in remembering it for ourselves as well. I honor the parents who gave us the greatest privilege, which is entrusting us with their most beloved children. I honor the teachers who gave so generously of their time and their talents. And I honor those beautiful, beautiful children and youth who brought so much to our congregation. And I light a second candle for a more personal thing. As much as I have loved this space to study and learn and pray and meditate, I have loved this space as a place to party. And I take with me so many great memories. Our practitioner class had its graduation here. We had, Super Bowl parties and potlucks and Thanksgiving and just so many fun times. I'll never forget Cindy's music for our 70s dance party. That was a blast. Those gourmets from God, all of those things that makes us a community, because it's not just about all the spiritual things. It's all about also having fun together. So I honor this space for how it has supported me and us all in that way.
I honor this space by remembering all the wonderful times that we've had here together. But the actual honor is looking to the future. We've got such a future in store for us, with infinite possibilities. So I look at the future, the last day here in this space, is not a sad occasion, but an occasion for us to grow, for us to blossom. From the ashes, the great phoenix shall rise. And so I implore everyone to look to the future, to look to the times when we can leave our mask at home, we can meet out at the park, we can go on walks together, we can socialize again, and then we can begin meeting together again like this. And I'm so grateful for Dusty. She certainly is the Queen of Hearts, and without Dusty, there is no center. I love you, and we all love you so much. So I want to put that forth. Thank you.
With this candle, I now acknowledge the twofold role that the bookstore has played in my life and the life of many of us, I believe, all of us. First of all, as the repository of print wisdom and knowledge that we could access on our journey of faith through the science of mind. And secondly, it was a wonderful gathering place before services and after services when our hearts and our souls connected, as the literature also connected our hearts and our souls. And for this, I will be grateful.
with this candle. I am just very grateful to be a part of this center and all the amazing talks that Dusty provided, the lovely practitioners provided, the Gourmet for Gods, the gatherings, they were just amazing. So I know we're closing a chapter on the Bearcat Center, but I know the next center is going to be absolutely amazing. You just watch.
As I light this candle, I bless our sanctuary. This space and place that literally holds the weight of the divine, that has also held our congregation and all of our guests in this bubble of unconditional love. I bless all of the times that we were actually able to gather together here in person, all of the Sundays and Wednesdays. And I also bless all of the moments that we really experience this sanctuary as a touchstone, that all of us experienced it as a touchstone when we were really choosing to take care of each other by social distancing. This sanctuary, we created it out of just a square blank room. We created this beautiful space that fit our needs to a T, and also fit the needs of a growing yoga studio to boot. And I know, as Mark said, we can and will do that again. So that candle I light for our sanctuary.
So I light this candle to bless some very special memories that I have at this center, especially the times that I worked at the bookstore. My times working there, I was just able to make so many deep and meaningful connections with people, from a new visitor sharing their special story with me, to deep, meaningful spiritual conversations about the teachings at the center and about books that we've all mutually read together at the center. And all of those memories are so special to me and were so enriching to my life.
I like this candle for the meditation room. It's a small space, but it's a quiet space. It's now has been the green room since we've gone live. But it has always been a quiet place where we would pray before the service to infuse the whole space with love, with wisdom, with joy. And also just to have that quiet time together in communion. This is for the meditation room.
As I light this candle, we say goodbye to 4000 Bearcat Way. And we say hello and bless our new expression. I bless the technology that allows us to continue to thrive and continue to stay connected across the miles. I bless all of the audiovisual team, the practitioners, the ministers, and the musicians who have already been coming together outside of this on their own time to learn the technology so that they can serve this community from the comfort of their own living rooms. I really bless everyone that participates in our services, Sundays and Wednesdays, or in our classes or our special events electronically. And I absolutely look forward to the day when we can come back together in person as a community. I bless who we are, and I bless who we are becoming. And so it is. Thank you all so very much. Thank you all for participating. Thank you all for your patience. I know we're running a little bit late today, but we still have a couple of last things to do. Oh, Cindy, I forgot. Yes, Cindy is singing a song to end this ritual. My fault.
No matter where you come from, no matter where you're going, here's a place where you can take comfort in the knowing that whether if you've come to stay a while or just passing through, this door is open to you. Come and let's be silent. Come and let's share a hug. Come, let's pray together. Come, loved and be loved. From the blissed out to the turned out, from the pampered to the abused, this door is open to you. Come on in, come on in. The God in us recognizes the God in you. So whether you're black or white, gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist or Jew, this door is open to you. If there's some kind of trouble or pain you're going through, know that you are not alone and someone cares for you. As an individualization of the divine point of view, this door, I said this door is open to you. Come on in, come on in. The God in us recognizes the God in you. Whether you're black or white, gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist or Jew, this door, I said this door is open. This door is open to you.
Fabulous, fabulous as always, Cindy. Thank you so much. A few final things. If anyone would like prayer, please go to our website at trianglecsl.org. On the home page, there's a button in the upper right-hand corner. Click on that button and fill in the request form. We will get that prayer and send it out to all of our ministers and practitioners. Okay. Will you be our Valentine? If so, please join us for our Let's Stay Connected immediately following the service. If you're on Zoom, just stay right where you are. If you're on Facebook Live, you're going to have to move to Zoom. And you can just come in for a few minutes. Just give us a chance to tell each other how much we love each other, okay? So we'll see you there. Now, starting next week, we're going to be streaming through StreamYard. So those of you guys who are watching by Facebook, it's going to be the same deal for you. You'll connect to the Facebook. If you've been watching through Zoom, we're no longer using Zoom. So what you're going to do is you're going to watch by YouTube. So what you'll do is you'll go to youtube.com and search for Triangle Center for Spiritual Living. Click on subscribe, then click on the notification bell that is next to the subscribe button. Okay? And I'm sure that we're going to be sending out emails and more written information. So it's not that hard. It's not that different. But if you have any questions or problems, of course, contact one of us. All right. Now it's time for our February affirmation. So everybody rise up. This is a call and response, so please repeat after me. I see a world in which each and every person lives in alignment with the divine. I see a world in which each and every person lives in alignment with the divine. A world in which we are called to a higher state of consciousness and action. A world in which we are called to a higher state of consciousness and action. Because I am not bound by precedent. Because I am not bound by precedent. I am open to the promise of a clean slate which every moment holds. Open to the promise of a clean state which every moment holds. With trust, joy, and delight, I let God be God in me. With trust, joy, and delight, I let God be God in me. Love acts through me, and the law of love frees us all. Love acts through me, and the law of love frees us all. And so it is. Okay, so as always, we're going to end with a video. Now, this particular video is a little less danceable than some of the ones we've had in the past, but it's very powerful and meaningful. So we ask you to just open your heart and really pay attention to the words and the message of the song. But before that, let's close our eyes just for another quick moment. Oh, man, and I am just breathing in the love that is in me and around me and throughout and around me, and I am feeling so connected, knowing the truth that we are all one, and that is the truth, whether we are in a space together or not. And so I just honor the truth for me, which I know is the truth for you, for all people, that we are all just different faces of the same divine spirit that animates our entire universe. And I am so grateful. I am so grateful for what we have had. I am so grateful for what we are going to create. And I'm so grateful that we've had this time together in such a powerful, meaningful, and love-filled service. So I know that everything that needed to be said was said, everything that needed to be heard was heard, and it has been perfect and complete. And so I just turn it over to the law that always says yes, and ask you to affirm this with me, with our words, and so it is, and so it is.